The first task is presenting your prototype to your peers. It will take around 30 minutes. In order to successfully solve problems in your professional field, you usually need the help of your colleagues. Therefore, when modeling a solution to a problem, your colleagues are also the best testers. For this reason, your first task is to present a prototype of your solution to your peers. The first step in completing this task is to find at least 3 colleagues who can help you to test your solution prototype. The next steps would then be as follows. 1. Create a presentation of your prototype in any way you prefer to show to your colleagues the overall picture of the idea and its justification, why you think it will help to solve a problem you face in your professional life. Be creative with your presentation and don't limit yourself. It could be a slide presentation, a short video, a hand-drawn picture, a storyboard, a performance, or anything else. Second, present your prototype to your peers. Tip: ask your colleagues to take notes and mark arguments when evaluating your problem solution so they can provide detailed, reasoned feedback later. The second task is gathering feedback to your prototype using the traffic light tool. It will take around 30 minutes. Now that you have presented your prototype to your peers, it is time to summarize their observations. You will need to use the traffic light tool to do this. 1. Make a traffic light picture with the following explanations next to each light. Green, ready to go. Yellow, wait, something still needs to be prepared, elaborated, or added. Red, stop, not possible or not recommended to go on. Second, explain the traffic light for your colleagues and ask them to give feedback by choosing the traffic light they think your prototype corresponds. Ask to justify their choice. Having listened to your colleagues' feedback and considered their arguments, you can make conclusion and decide how to proceed with your problem-solving prototype. Will you implement it? Or will you revise it by going 1 or more stages back or even decide to start anew? The decision is yours. Good luck! The third task is reflecting on the entire learning process using the De Bono 6 thinking hats technique. It will take around 30 minutes. During the design thinking process, you analyzed your current or future profession, as well as your personal and professional abilities and skills. You defined the problem you face in your professional life and looked for ideas on how to solve it. You then prototyped and tested the solution you chose to implement. However, although this process is now complete, there is one more task to be done. This is a reflection on the entire 5-lesson learning process. For this, you will use the De Bono 6 thinking hats technique. The De Bono 6 thinking hats technique was created by Dr. Edward De Bono in 1985 and described in his book of the same name. The technique is designed to organize thinking and improve problem solving and decision making based on the idea that the human brain thinks in multiple distinct ways. By separating these modes of thought, they can be used more effectively. The technique uses the metaphor of 6 colored hats to represent different ways of thinking. The white hat represents the facts perspective, the red hat represents the emotions perspective, the yellow hat, the positive and benefits perspective, the green hat, the creative perspective, the blue hat, the process and control perspective, and the black hat, the negative aspects perspective. By mentally wearing and switching hats, person or team members can easily focus on a particular way of thinking and redirect their thoughts to solve problems, generate ideas, or reflect. To do the task, your steps are as follows. Firstly, put on a white hat and think from a factual perspective. What new information, data, or knowledge have you learned during this module? Secondly, put on a red hat and think from an emotional perspective. What emotions, feelings, or gut reactions have you experienced while completing the tasks? Feel free to express these without needing to justify them. Thirdly, put on a yellow hat and think from a positive perspective. What positive things did you see and what benefits did you gain from the module? Now, Put on a green hat and think from a creative perspective. What new ideas did you generate and what alternative or creative solutions did you find? Now it is time to put on a blue hat and think about the process. How did you find the learning process? What did you like? What was helpful? What could have been better? Finally, put on a black hat and think about the negative aspects. What difficulties did you experience and what obstacles did you face? Tip: save your reflections. It could be a valuable resource for your future learning. Well done. That concludes Lesson 5 and Module 4 as a whole. Good luck in all your future endeavors.